I'm 84 years old. My mornings begin long before the light. I sit at the kitchen table with the same chipped mug I've had for decades. The clock ticks too loud now, like it wants to be noticed. Most days I think about my father, not with anger, not with softness, but with a kind of clear pain that only comes when you're almost finished living. He's been gone a long time, longer than I like to admit, and only now, when my own hands tremble and my hearing fades, do I understand something simple and brutal. He was right about nearly everything. I don't say that lightly. I spent most of my life believing the opposite. When I was in my 20s, I worked at the steel plant on the edge of town. Long shifts, dirty clothes, and a body that felt invincible. My father would sit at our small wooden table every evening, waiting for me to come home. He wasn't a loud man. He spoke slowly, like each word cost him something. He used to say, "Work will take as much as you give it. Don't let it take you." I thought he didn't understand how the world worked. I needed overtime. I needed promotion. I needed to prove I wasn't just another boy from a tired neighborhood. So I nodded, smiled, and kept chasing hours. Some nights I came home after he'd already gone to bed. I'd see his empty chair and tell myself I'd sit with him tomorrow. Tomorrow always felt safe. In my 30s, I married a good woman, kind, patient, steady. We had one daughter who laughed like wind in trees. I worked even harder then. Birthdays slipped past with a quick handshake and a gift bought at the last minute. Sunday dinners became next week. Phone calls to my father became shorter, rushed, half-hearted. Nothing dramatic happened. No fights, no slamming doors, no sharp breaks. Just small, quiet distances that stacked up like dust you don't notice until it coats everything. My father kept calling. He'd ask how I was sleeping, if I was eating, if I was happy. I'd tell him I was busy. He'd say, gently, "Busy can swallow a man." I'd laugh it off. In my 40s, the plant promoted me. Bigger office, cleaner clothes, more respect. I felt proud, important, necessary. But I saw my father less and less. When I did visit, he looked smaller. His back curved a little more. His hands shook when he poured tea. I told myself that was just age. I didn't slow down. Then, one winter, he got sick. Not slowly the way you expect. Fast, like a door closing in a storm. I remember standing in the hospital hallway, staring at the fluorescent lights, thinking about a meeting I had the next morning. That thought still burns me. I went into his room. He was thin under the blankets, quieter than I'd ever seen him. He looked at me for a long time before speaking. He didn't scold me. He didn't cry. He didn't ask why I'd stayed away. He just said, "I always wanted more time with you." I didn't know what to say. I promised I'd come back the next day. He died that night. I learned later that he had asked the nurse if I had left yet, as if he wanted to hold on until I was gone. I didn't go to work the next morning, but I went back the day after that. Life moved. It always does. Years passed in the same shape. Early alarms, late nights, brief holidays, and an empty chair I stopped noticing. My wife passed before retirement, quietly, the way good people often do. My daughter moved across the country. We call, but our voices no longer fit the way they used to. When I finally stopped working, the silence was shocking. No shifts, no meetings, no excuses. Just me, this house, and the weight of all the days I chose something else. That's when my father started appearing in my thoughts with terrible clarity. I replayed every small moment I brushed aside. The evening he sat waiting with soup that went cold. The birthday I forgot. The walk he asked me to take that I declined because I was tired. None of it felt important then. All of it feels huge now. What I can't fix is simple and cruel. I can't sit with him again. I can't hear his voice. I can't tell him that he was right without speaking to air. I talk to him sometimes anyway, out loud in this empty kitchen. My words bounce off the walls like they don't know where to land. He doesn't answer. And that absence is heavier than any mistake I made at work. I've learned that success does not keep you company at night. It doesn't hold your hand when you're afraid. It doesn't remember the sound of your laugh. People do. And I spent too many years treating people like something I could return to later. If you're listening to me, I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm not wise enough for that, and you're not my child. But I wish I had understood one thing much earlier. Time with the people you love is not spare change. It's the currency of your life. I wish I had believed my father when he said that. I wish I had sat longer at that table, even when I felt restless. I wish I had skipped one more shift and taken one more walk. Not because work was bad, but because people do not wait forever. Now my days are slow. I move carefully. I measure my steps. Sometimes I walk past his old room and pause, as if he might call my name from inside. He never does. I keep his old watch in my pocket. It doesn't work anymore, but I wind it anyway out of habit. At night, when sleep is thin, I think about how much of life I treated like a problem to solve instead of a moment to hold. I don't beat myself for it. That would be too easy and too late. I just sit with it. The kettle whistles, the clock keeps ticking. The sun finally rises through the window. I am still here for now, and all I can really do is remember honestly, speak quietly, and hope that my daughter, somewhere far away, feels the weight of my love, even when I don't say it perfectly. If this story touched something in you, you don't need to respond to me. Just maybe sit a little longer with someone you care about the next time you have the chance. That's all I ever wish I had done. And now I finish my tea while it's still warm.